A goal that shapes UK parliamentary constituencies is that every vote should carry roughly the same weight. To achieve this, every so often the constituencies are redrawn. And the law essentially outlines that apart from 5 specified cases, every seat must contain roughly the same number of voters. The last review shaped the map for the 2024 general election, and the key number was 73,393. Every seat, apart from the protected 5, had to have a voter population within 5% of this average, meaning no less than about 70,000 voters, and no more than roughly 77,000. Well, there are other exceptions. No seat can be as big as Montenegro, with the cap being about 5,000 square miles or 13,000 square kilometres. Still, as you can imagine, when this formula is applied to the UK map, it produces constituencies of significantly different sizes. So, in this video, let's have a look at the two extremes. The UK's smallest constituency is Bethnal Green and Stepney, which includes the places in its name, as well as areas like Spitalfields, with its markets, and Whitechapel. Sitting in London's East End within Tower Hamlets, the constituency with its younger than average population is the country's most densely populated. It has around 51,000 people per square mile or 19,750 per square kilometre. In the last election in 2024 it had a voter population of over 81,000. Obviously, this is more than the set limit, but this is because the boundaries were drawn based on the electorate numbers from March 2020. Still, residents in this constituency don't have to travel far if they'd like to see their local MP, Labour's Rushanara Ali. It's about 2 miles from one side to the other at its widest, and about 2.6 square miles or 6.8 square kilometres in total. But even when away at Westminster, their MP's not far off. Many could walk to Parliament in less than 90 minutes from their front door. The constituency doesn't just stand out by being the smallest. More Bangladeshis live in this constituency than any other in the UK, and they make up about 42% of its population. Related to this, it also has one of the largest Muslim communities, with around 47% of its residents identifying as Muslim, the 6th highest proportion in the UK. Many Bangladeshis moved to the area during the latter half of the 20th century, and the area has long been a destination for migration. An example of this is found in the Brick Lane Mosque, first established by the Huguenots in the 18th century, after fleeing France. It became a synagogue in the 19th century after the arrival of Jewish refugees, and a mosque in the 20th. So let's leave the UK's smallest constituency behind and turn our attention to the biggest. Here, we find ourselves in a very different constituency at the northern end of the country. The largest constituency is Scotland's Caithness, Sutherland and Easter Ross. It's over 1,700 times bigger than the smallest. It's around 4,490 square miles, or around 11,630 square kilometres. This means it covers an area just a little smaller than Qatar, and it's bigger than Jamaica. Still, given the rules, it has a similar electorate to almost every other seat, with around 74,600 eligible voters at the last election. They re-elected the Lib Dems' Jamie Stone. The constituency includes Dunnet Head, the northernmost place on the island of Great Britain, and distributed towns like Wick, Dingwall and Thurso, none of which have a population of more than 10,000. Most larger settlements are also on the area's long stretches of coastline. Between these are the lochs, mountains and sparsely populated areas of the North West Highlands. In fact, according to the House of Commons Library, the land in the constituency is only 1% built up. It's also 50% peat bogs and 35% forest or semi-natural. The population density is just 21 people per square mile, and ageing and other population trends suggest this is not going to change anytime soon. The extent of the open space is a legacy of the highland clearances of the 18th and 19th centuries, when people were evicted from their homes and farms by landowners such as the Dukes of Sutherland. Turning to the situation today, there are several major projects that form key parts of the local economy. One involves the decommissioning of the nuclear site at Dunray, previously a major nuclear research site in the country. There's also the ports of the Cromarty Firth, which service the oil and gas industry. These are shifting towards renewable energy, such as with the establishment of green free ports, which are special economic zones with relaxed tax rules. Then there's the popular tourism sector, driven by the scenery of the Highlands, and initiatives like the North Coast 500 road trip, much of which runs through the constituency. However, this initiative has perhaps been somewhat too successful, with over-tourism concerns on the rise. The more than 500-mile-long road trip also highlights again the great extent of the constituency. For example, the local MP lists his meeting appointments for constituents a bit like a touring artist. Despite setting several dates, all of the locations in a given month could still be hours away by car for some. And though it's key to say the people in the constituency do have additional representation in the Scottish Parliament, Westminster is at least a 10-hour car journey away. So what do you make of the rules that now shape constituencies and how they're shaping the UK political map? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in these sorts of things, please consider subscribing.